Stuart Nash.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. I don't actually believe that the member who's just spoken believed the words she spoke. And the reason I say that is because she contradicted herself so many times to the point where I don't know if she actually knew what she was saying. Let me give you a couple of points, Mr Chair. Ms Dowie said that the electricity prices dropped by 1.4% in Southland in the last year. That's fantastic. But what Ms Dowie can't tell us is if that was the electricity charge, the generation charges, or the line charges. Now, I would have thought that an informed consumer would actually like to know where the savings were made. The thing is she is right in one point, though, that this industry is fluent. There is great change going on, and the thing that we don't know is what the sector will look like in 10 years' time. But one thing I can tell you, Mr Speaker, is that the industry is innovating in a way that we haven't seen for a long, long time. And the interesting thing is, we're not experts in this area. And the reason why I think it's really important these things go to select committee is we get the experts in. And they say to us, well, if we implement this bill, it may look like this. These are the advantages and these are disadvantages. So the industry experts from both sides of the argument can actually inform us. And maybe Ms Dowie is right. Maybe this will stifle innovation, but I can't say that. I'm our energy spokesperson, and I've had a good hard look at this, and I don't believe it will stifle innovation. In fact, I think it will promote innovation. And that's just based on all the research I've read. And Mr Shearer is the same. He believes it'll promote innovation, but we don't really know. And as sure as eggs, Ms Dowie doesn't know if it'll stifle innovation. But there is a group of experts that work and live and operate in our electricity sector who will be able to inform us. And the thing is, if this goes to a select committee, we will hear all the arguments about how it will benefit consumers or how it may stifle innovation. And then when it comes back for a second reading, we can make an informed choice. But at this point in time, we are MPs who are passionate about this country, about doing right for what is for the good, hard-working Kiwis, and I think they would agree that they want to hear what the experts say, and let's send to a select committee. Mr Speaker, let me give you an example of how innovation is changing the sector at this point in time. I moved to Flick recently. They are an online seller of electricity, and they provide me with an account that shows me the exact breakdown of where my bill comes from. So when Ms Dowie said that this is creating cost, Flick doesn't believe that. So I know, Mr Chair, on Monday, my power costs vary between 12.6 cents per unit and 36.39 cents per unit. So I can make an informed choice. And this may sound a little anal, but what I did on Monday night, before I went to bed, I turned the dryer on at 11:30 p.m. because Flick told me that the rate was down to 13 cents. I made an informed choice. But what it told me for my last bill, Mr Speaker, what it told for my last bill, that it was 51.66 cents. Okay? Now that's what all of us get in our power bills, 51.66. But what it told me is that $22.86 was transmission and distribution, $1.52 was for metering, 14.35 was for generation, 6.98 was for other, but what it told me is $5.98 was for electricity charges. That's all in my whole bill was for electricity charges. Mr Speaker, what this bill does is it provides consumers with choice, with options and with opportunities. This is consumer driven, and in the 21st century, I think that is what consumers want, to the point where the IRD, yes, the IRD has recognised that, and it is going to consumer-driven apps based on breaking down information. Mr Speaker, in conclusion, all I would like to say is I believe that consumers deserve the right to understand what makes up their power bill. Now, whether they choose to exercise that or not, that's up to them. But at least what this bill does is it gives them the right and the opportunity to understand it. And I think that is what all consumers deserve. Thank you.